Hello everybody and welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards in 2021. Today we are judging class F3, which is Best Goat's Milk Hard Cheese. And the judges I'm going to introduce will be judging on a point scoring system, and then the best cheese at the end of the class will go on to be judged in the live final on the 7th of May. So today we're judging with Adrian and Emma. Would you like to introduce yourself, Adrian?
Hey, yeah, I'm Adrian Boswell, and I'm a Cheesebuyer for Selfridges.
Emma?
Hello, I'm Emma Young. I'm a cheese consultant and the Cheese Explorer on Instagram.
Very good. And the first cheese we're going to judge is cheese F3 1017, please.
Ta-da!
Very nice.
Cool.
So the first thing you're going to judge it on is appearance out of 10, so you can have a chat about what you think.
I mean, it's a nice sort of ivory colour. It's even, right? There's no discoloration to it.
No, yeah, it's I mean, it's fairly standard sort of, shape and size if you're into that sort of thing. I can't see anything sort of,
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, it's not the best looking cheese in the world, but it's far from the worst as well. So, I mean, I'm comfortable with a sort of steady
7.
7-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really fault it. That kind of feels sort of in between. I wouldn't be disappointed if I saw that. So.
Fine, I think, yeah, 7 is cool.
Next thing, please, out of aroma out of 10.
It's quite good. It's got a bit of a sort of a cooked cheese toasty type smell to it.
Yeah,
nice sweetness, bit of sweetness from the goat's milk. It's quite pleasant.
Yeah, I think it's really quite pleasant. What I do like about it is, well, it seems quite clean. You can get some of the creaminess as well. There's almost, you're right in terms of the sweetness, but you can tell it's goat. It's not overly goaty as well, but it's quite subtle. So it's got a lot going on. The aroma is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I'd say probably around an 8, I think, for aroma.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Pretty solid, definitely.
Okay, next, texture.
Yeah, so I've just broken into it. It's a bit weird, but what I'm struggling with is sort of it's quite spongy on the outside and then almost quite crumbly, but it's not. It's crumbly, but it's almost sticky and stodgy at the same time, which is.
Yeah. It's a bit of a sort of almost plasticky texture to it.
I'm not overly keen on the texture, if I'm honest with you. I think there's just sort of too much going on and too much difference from the outside to the inside, personally.
It's also not very clear what it is from the texture. So you look at it and you sort of have a preconception of what it should be like in its texture. And then it's about 4 different textures when you've snapped it. Yeah, I'm not overly enamoured by the texture either. I'm probably on about a 6.
6 out of 10?
That's our first fight at me. I thought I was going to go 5.
I'm happy with 5. That's all right.
Yeah, I just wasn't strong, but
No
it was
fights,
just what's going on for me.
5's absolutely fine. Yeah.
That wasn't a big fight.
No, there were no bad words there or fisticuffs.
Well, it's still 32.
There's lots of time. Bring it on. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, next, Mark, true to character. Score out of 10, please.
Well, I think after we've spoken about the texture, it's hard to give it the highest score because it looks like it's a sort of goat cheddar, right? But with that texture, it's not typical of a cheddar. What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, it's a conundrum, isn't it? Because technically, until you break it, actually, it's pretty true to form. But the moment you break into it, so it's are we judging it based off the fact now we have broken into it, or are we just judging it based on its initial appearance when it came to us? I think if it's the former, you can't go higher than 5, in my opinion. If we're just looking at it in terms of just how it comes as a piece of cheddar, then you could probably mark it slightly higher. But
I think it's got to be based off of all of the things we've done. Otherwise, it would just be appearance. So I think the lower score that you mentioned is probably where I'd sit.
So about 5 then.
Yeah.
5.
5, okie dokie. And now flavour, please.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
That aroma is really lovely.
It is. It is.
Pick up on that
It's
again.
a beautiful aroma.
Can you hear me chewing?
I thought that was me.
Okay, so I'm getting quite a big whack of salt, which is a little bit distracting. It's sort of the overall flavour that I'm left with after, but you do get those really nice sort of savoury. I'm going to go cheese toasty again type flavours.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there's not much character to the cheese itself. The overriding flavour profile is definitely salt. There's a hint of goatiness in there. It's a little bit of milk. I mean, look, it's something I'd happily have put in a salad or something that's got another flavour to go with it. But as a standalone cheese, probably a little bit too top heavy on the salt for me. But it's not unpleasant in any way.
It's very short. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You're sort of expecting a little bit more to be happening. It looks like it's been aged for a little while. I think I at least was expecting a little bit more sort of depth to that flavour, and it just wasn't there. So I'm sitting. Where are you sitting? I'm still on about a 5, I think, maybe for flavour. 6, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as high as a 6. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no depth. It just fades very quickly. There isn't much time.
We cut into the middle as well. We didn't eat the outside, which
Yeah. I'm comfortable going with a 5. Yeah.
Cool.
5, okay.
She's tough as the cheese explorer.
No, there, Boswell.
She is. She is. You can always, if you feel like you've judged it too harshly based on the others, you can always come back and sort of reassess at the end.
Yeah, lovely. The
Okay,
aroma, really good. Just, sorry, I feel like we've judged it quite harshly, but the aroma is delicious.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Okay, next cheese, please. 1033.
1033. So this bad boy right here, as you can see, I've already taken a nibble. Because I'll be honest with you, I mean, I love the look of this cheese. It looks very traditional.
Yeah.
I work for Selfridges. I'm a massive fan of these styles of cheeses. So for me, I think the appearance instantly, it was the first one I chopped into.
Okay.
To break the rule, apparently I'm not supposed to take off the nose, but sorry, I'm by the rules.
So appearance-wise, you think it looks really good?
Yeah,
it's
I think, yeah, it's beautiful. You can see the imprint from the cloth. You've got a bit of sort of mold action going on there, which is a really positive thing. Some nice coloration, and the actual cheese itself looks really deliciously ivory. It's got some sort of little holes in it, but yeah, I think it looks lovely. I agree. I probably would have had a nibble if I had less restraint. It's like
very
but
good.
Done pretty well today. I don't know. Had breakfast. Adrian, you didn't have breakfast, did you?
Hey, he's telling all my secrets. I'm sorry.
Okay, so appearance, I think 8 or 9. What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, how do you improve it is the question. I mean, I'm not sure what else they could have done. I mean, it's from my perspective in terms of what they're trying to achieve. It looks like that's what they've done. It looks very traditional, very farmhouse, very artisanal. You made some great points in terms of the ivory color and the holes, and you know what, you noticed the mold action going on as well. So yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to go with a 9. If
we can't improve it, then is it not a 10?
Well, I never said we can't. I guess my question was, how can we improve it? I guess, and if there is a way, I mean, what would you do to improve it? Is probably a question. What is it missing? Is it missing anything?
I'm not really sure. Is it a sort of a goat's milk cheese? It is going to be that lighter color. The rind is
100%.
clean, but with the molds, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with the 9, but I can't actually find something that I would want to see in it.
Different. So are we saying a 10?
Let's do it.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Oh my god.
First 10. Ding, ding, ding.
Didn't take long.
Aroma. Okay.
Aroma.
So you get some sort of, again, nice sweetness from the milk, but I get a really lovely cavey type smell from the rind. So I'm sort of smelling all parts. You get that sort of cloth bound, delicious, I've been in a cave type smell to it, which is really nice.
Absolutely, and I'm getting some, some very subtle light grassy notes coming through as well. So, I'm really hoping that this can actually deliver on the flavour because it looks good, and at the minute, it smells. I mean, I don't get much goatiness from it, which I don't know is a good or a bad thing on the nose in comparison to the one that we had first.
I agree.
I've hit all of the notes, but that's probably. I do think the one that the first cheese, the 1017, was definitely a better aroma. So I'd probably go in at 7.
I agree. Yep, 7 it is.
Okay.
All right. So texture. Let's give it a little snap. So it sort of looks like it knows what it's doing a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
It's got a nice, a bit of moisture content to it because it doesn't look too old, but it doesn't. It just looks how you'd expect it to. It's got a bit of a snap, but it's a clean snap. I mean, I think it's pretty good.
It is good. It's quite pliable. You put it together in your fingers, it warms up fairly quickly. You're right. I think the level of moisture in there is spot on. It's not getting sticky. It's not getting wet, but it's not crumbling. I think they've done a good job there.
I think I'm on about an 8 maybe for texture.
Yeah, the machine rolls on. Absolutely, I agree.
Cool. And then true to character.
I mean, it's true. For me, that's always very similar. It's always going to be closely aligned to almost the appearance to a certain degree. A bit of appearance and texture together. It's almost, I guess a combination of the both. And I think, where the texture we're quite comfortable with and the appearance we're quite comfortable with is very difficult to then turn around and say it's not true to character from my opinion.
No, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. And it delivers in both. I think it's,
well, I guess,
we know what it is.
But would you on the aroma point, would you then, is that, imagine that's part of the character to a certain degree as well, but would you then?
I mean, I think the aroma is true to character because it does have that sort of musty cloth bound thing. Yeah. It isn't as complex as the aroma of the previous cheese we tasted, but I think for the character of this cheese, it is true.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you make a good. I think you make a good point. That's why I asked the questions, but I'm sure. So, choose character 8.
Yeah, 8 exactly. All right, let's taste it.
Let's do it.
That's quite crazy. It's got a lot more on the palate than you'd assume from the nose. It's quite a big whack. Quite a lot of acidity.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of acidity.
Oh wow! I quite like that. I mean, that's my type of cheese. I think. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of bitter. I find it quite bitter on the finish. But what I do like is those meaty, savoury, brothy flavours that come through. They're not overpowering. That's your point, very acidic, but there's also a sort of light freshness to it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, what was you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, right at the beginning, you've got that really nice sort of fresh, cooling thing. The bitter I definitely picked up on as well, but it's quite a sort of vegetal bitter instead of chemical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So I'm not completely against that bitter, but it is something that we've both picked up on.
No, I mean, I appreciate that bitter. It's a flavour profile, and it's one that some people like. So I'm just very aware that personally, I don't sit well with bitter, but you're right, it's a vegetable one, it's not a nasty one. But I think it's a good cheese.
Where do you think?
Cheese. Well, what's missing from the flavour? Does it have enough length? I'm going to keep picking up on that since you said it now. Does it have enough length, enough depth? I mean, I think it's got enough depth and enough character.
I think it's got the length too. It's still going on. I've still got that is developed, so it's changed a bit. It's not the most sort of strong flavour now, but I've got some interesting sort of charcuterie notes to it now, which is quite nice. It's sort of developed a bit, which is really interesting. Maybe a little notch up in volume and everything would make it sing even more, I think.
Is it goaty enough for you? I'm well aware, actually. You know, some customers, they buy goat cheese because they really do like that in your face goatiness. Does it have enough of that?
No, it's not in your face goaty, but I guess that hits the other market of people who do want an alternative milk to cow and don't like the really goaty goat flavour. Yeah. But yeah, I think it could benefit from a little notch up in that too, however you do that. All right, what should we score it?
8. Are we allowed to do halves?
You are allowed to do halves.
Okay.
8.5. I mean, if we're talking about notching up, I don't think it needs to be overly goaty, but I think there needs to be a little bit more goat present at least.
8.5.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, happy?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Nice. Next one, you're on to F31110.
Okay. So it's this block.
Another block here.
It's very sort of soft. You can sort of bend. Bend and then break it. Whoops. It's not bendy.
I'll say a little bendy.
Little bendy. So appearance-wise, it is very pale. It is goat's milk. It has got a bit of a mottle to it. Can you see that as well? Have you on yours? Yeah.
I can, yeah.
Grey sort of mottle.
Yeah, I mean, it's pale. And you know, it's interesting. That's a very good word to use. It's pale, but it's not ivory. And then I just compare it to. I'm just trying to compare it to the one we had before.
Don't know if you can
see that.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I've got a little bit more, sort of more of an ivory on the initial one. So I'm not. Oh, I mean, given where we marked the first one, I'm not sure we could go as high as this one.
No, I don't think so.
Grey colour.
For the first one, you did 7.
Oh, okay, so yeah, 5 or 6. It's not hugely appealing to look at, is it, Adrian?
No, I don't like.
5.
I mean, 5, yeah. It is just a grey element to it as well, and then sort of grey rather than ivory. So yeah, I'm happy with 5.
Okay.
Aroma?
It's quite muted.
I don't get anything. I mean, I just get milk more than anything.
Yeah.
Really.
And you have to smell really hard to get milk too.
Yeah, a hint of goat, but you know, put it right up to my nose. I've got to take it really in deep. I mean, there's not much going on there for me, not enough anyway.
No, and also just so everyone knows, we took these out of the fridge quite a while ago, so they have come up to temperature. Sometimes when you have really cold cheeses, you can't sort of smell or taste as much, but we've definitely had them up to temperature. So, yeah, I'm not getting much. So, look, 4 or 5 for me.
I thought 4. I mean, I need more.
4?
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Okay. Texture?
It's quite wet. I'm getting quite a lot of free moisture. It sort of feels a bit like chicken breast. So when you pull it apart, it's like curd. Yeah. It's really curdy.
100%. You hit the nail on the head there. Probably, chicken breast and curd. It's a bit weird. I mean, it's kind of similar to the first one in terms of when you break it. It's got that crumbly thing going on in the middle versus the plastic pliable on the outside, and it kind of seems a little confused with what it's trying to achieve here.
Yeah, and I'm quite distracted by the sort of free moisture. It's very wet.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
No, me neither.
Okay, so texture score.
4.
4.
Okay. Fine. True to character.
Oh, sorry, I ate it. Skip the step.
That's okay. You can come back to true to character if you like.
Um,
Flavour? True to character is hard in an artisan class anyway, because a cheese might be just like itself, I think.
Well, okay, what is it? Do we think it's trying to be a goat feta? Is it trying to be a cheddar? Like what? I think that's kind of the point. We don't really know. Well, I don't really know what it is, so I don't know what it's true to. Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, given the shape that it got delivered to, I imagine it's a goat's cheddar. Can't imagine they're trying to do a feta, if honest with you. I'd expect a little bit more moisture if that's what the route they was going in.
Right.
So I can only imagine that it's trying to be a cheddar.
Then I don't think it's very true to character.
Yeah,
from the texture especially, and my sneaky taste that I just had too. But yeah, sorry. I don't think it is at all true to a cheddar style. If that's what it is, I think I'm on a 4 or a 5 again.
Yes,
I suppose the only clue we have really is that it's best goat's milk hard cheese category.
Right. Okay.
So
cheddar.
It's probably like a cheddarish. Yeah. It doesn't deliver them.
No.
Okay. So you think 4 for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. And flavour.
Okay. So the texture, going slightly back, is very squeaky. So again, I think that true to character thing is confused. The flavour is very much salt. Lots and lots of salt. A bit of sweetness from the goat's milk, but salt and sweet and not much else.
There's nothing else to say. Really, I mean, that's pretty much. And you know, to your point, it's funny that you mentioned feta or the squeakiness of like an halloumi or something, because actually it would, you know, if you told me it was that, I'd probably be a little bit more lenient with it, given the content of salt and the texture. But, you know, as a hard goes, no, not at all. Not enough kind of.
Unfortunately not. I think maybe, I don't know, 5.
What, for flavour?
4.
I'm
being generous.
You are, sorry. I don't want to be the bad cop, but.
All right, 4 actually. I don't know how I could have gone up to 5. I just felt with all the things we've said, maybe it's just a 4, right? Or less.
4, I'm good for
4. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, you're on to 1137. And this is the final cheese in the class.
Okay.
On your first class. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this bad boy.
Yeah. Again, had a little nibble.
I did. Again, look, you can tell my appearance score by the ones that got a little nibble out of it. You know.
That's true.
I'm sorry. So whoever's cheese is, you know, I thought it looked good. I had to take a bite.
It does have a really lovely appearance. I mean, the shape is great. It's very uniform. You've got quite a heavy amount of penicillium on the outside, but not in a bad way. It's just sort of leaving fingerprints in it, which is okay. And the actual paste is really lovely. So you've got a tiny bit of breakdown under the rind, right? And then a nice sort of chalky looking heart. I think it looks lovely.
Yeah. Agreed.
8.
9. 8.
You on the previous one you scored it 10 because you couldn't fault it really, just to refresh your.
Okay, so I don't think it's a 10. I think I would like to see a little bit more of. I am slightly distracted by the amount of penicillium on it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. But you know, the point you made about the chalkiness around the outside. Are you comfortable with the difference in colour of that chalkiness to the actual cheese itself, because that kind of means I'd like to see it slightly, not completely uniform, because obviously they're not replicating the breakdown, but I don't think there should be so much of a difference in those two particular colors. That's just my personal opinion. And that's kind of where I'm at, but you know.
I think I'm happy with the 9 on this one. I don't think it's too much less than the other guy. What do you think? Where are you at, an 8 or?
I mean, I could easily go with a 9. Yeah, I mean, again, I guess everything that I'm faulting it for, you know, I'm being very picky.
I think let's do a 9 because our faults are really, really slight.
Okay.
Yeah.
9.
9 it is.
Aroma. I don't know if you want to cut it first and then smell it, or.
I'm getting a lot of mushroom again from the rind, like a lot of sort of white mushroom. And the paste, it really does smell like yogurt, or yogurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice yogurt.
Nice yogurt, definitely like really fresh yogurt. Lovely flavors. I did think it would have a little bit more happening on the nose, but the yogurt is very sort of it's very clean flavor, clean aroma even.
Definitely, and I see what you're saying with the mushrooms. I'm getting some cabbagey notes coming from there as well. Very vegetal.
Yeah.
Slightly bits and pieces coming through.
It's a bit of strawberry yogurt actually. I think I think it's pleasant. It's not massively. It's not a very strong aroma, but it's pleasant. I think maybe, I
was gonna say you got some good senses to get strawberry yogurt out of it. No, but I mean, I think it's pleasant enough. I couldn't fault it. I mean, again, if you wanted to be picky, a little bit more goat, but there are at least 2 or 3 different elements coming from it, which makes it quite interesting. So,
I think I'm on around an 8.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to fault. Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
Okey-dokey.
So we've got 2 distinct textures here. You've got that breakdown under the rind, and then you've got sort of quite crumbly. It's actually almost breaking apart when you snap it. It's really sort of, you can see it's crumbling.
Yeah.
Is it low in? I've done it again, haven't I? I've eaten it, and it's true to character. Yeah.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
It's fine.
You need to score it on the texture first, though, before.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. It's jumping. I think it's quite interesting. I feel like it's quite a tight paste. That could do with a little bit of relaxing, maybe a bit more age. I'm on a 7.
Yeah, I don't particularly have a problem with the texture, even with the breakdown on the rind. I think once you have both together, it brings another dimension to the actual product itself. So I think 7's pretty fair. I understand your point in regards to age, but I just wonder how the flavor would develop if they aged it and how long would they age it for and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool. 7 feels about right to me.
Happy with that, Emma? 7 for texture?
7's fine.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. True to character?
I mean, I think it is a young version of itself. So that is at the back of my mind. It is an interesting thing. It just feels quite young. Like it should have a bit more age to it.
Okay.
Adrian, what do you think? I'm a bit stuck on this one.
It's always very difficult because I guess in terms of when it comes to age, it starts to sort of morph into personal preference from the product and how you envisage the texture becoming and how the flavors would develop in your mouth. I can only judge it on the belief that the cheese producer has aged it to this particular age because that's where he thinks the flavor profile characteristics are at its best. Like I said, I mean, I can't really fault the cheese on much. I think it looks good. I think the texture's, it's not perfect, but it's decent, of a decent quality. I think it's true. I think it's true to a specific character, which I believe they was going for an artisanal, traditional looking, goats made hard farmhouse cheese, and I think if I was to see that in a counter, that's the perception I would have. So, I 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean 7.5. Let's go with 8. I think I'm being a bit harsh on this. Let's do. I think 8. I'd be happy.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be comfortable with 8.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, flavour.
Okay. Although we've tasted it before.
Both of us. It's young. It's got a youthful, a really youthful sort of, almost youthful bitter. I really feel as if this could do with maybe at least a couple more weeks for the flavour to come through more.
Yeah.
Because we're basing it on really young flavours.
Yeah. And that's when I hear you talking about aging, I understand what you're saying now, because you can almost taste the potential, because there's a lot of light sort of citrus, fresh notes. And you just think to yourself, you know what, maybe an extra month or so, what could this actually be?
Yeah.
So you can taste that there's more in the cheese. So it's very difficult to give it a high flavor score, knowing that actually there's potentially more to come from it. So I'm actually quite disappointed in regards to the flavor, and when you consider all of the other points we had previous. So I'm probably leaning towards a 6 on the flavor. I'm
quite upset too, but you could sort of tell from the texture that it was going to be on the younger side. I think it's not showing a real complexity of flavor, not complexity for, it's not showing enough complexity, I think, for this sort of style. And I think it's slightly low in salt, or that could just be the age. I think, did you say 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sad, but I think same. Yeah, 6.
Okay. Well, I've put that you liked it, but that felt it was a little bit young and it had potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's just quite muted at this stage. It just feels like it's not where it should be. Especially with that texture, it's not just the flavor isn't there. You can sort of see that it isn't quite ready. I think. Yeah, that's a shame. That's
okay. Well, you've now finished the class. Shall I do a recap on the scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the first one, 1017, 32.5, and the spreadsheet already does the flavour weighting, so that's good.
Oh, nice.
1033, the second one, 45.75.
Nice.
The third one you did 11110, it's got 23 points, and the last one 1137, 41 points, which means that number 2 is your winner.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
100%.
And the last one's number 2 and the first one's number 3. Yeah?
Yeah,
happy?
Perfect. Happy.
Okay. So the winner of class F3 Best Goat's Milk Hard Cheese is number F31033. And thank you very much, Adrian and Emma, for your hard judging work. And we will see you back soon for another class. And don't forget everyone to join us on the 7th of May for the live finals. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.